friends, this is my video on Mesopotamian civilization. So let's start. Ancient Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is an early civilization of Western Asia situated within the Tigris and Euphrates riverfront plains in the northern part of the Fertile Crescent. It used to cover the area of present-day Iraq, Iran, Turkey, Syria and Kuwait. Now, in this slide, it is this slide is saying that the Mesopotamia was an early civilization situated in Western Asia, or we can say somewhere in the Middle East. And I think I haven't told you all the definition of civilization, but I have covered the videos on Mesopotamian civilization. No, this is not. This is the current video. Yeah, this is the Mesopotamian civilization. I have done Egyptian civilization video and Magda, yeah, and Roman Empire also, but I haven't told the meaning of definition of civilization. So now here you go. Civilization is an advanced stage of or system of social development in which the prehistorical or the primitive human advance over a period of thousands of years and become cultured and settled down on a place, and this was the time where cultivation was born. And during this time period, many civilizations came to be known, such as Egyptian civilization, which we have covered or which we are covering, Mesopotamian civilization, Indus Valley civilization and Chinese civilization. And the Mesopotamian civilization was the first one of all, and these civilizations like the Egyptian, Indus and the Chinese civilization were the one which came into existence during the same time period. And yeah, so let's come to Mesopotamia again. So Mesopotamia was situated in the Middle East region and north side of the Fertile Crescent in the Western Asia, because the Middle East is the we can say the western side of the Asian continent, and after that the African continent starts. So yeah, you can see in this map that this is the Fertile Crescent. Let me outline it. Something happened over here, I don't know what. Yeah, so Mesopotamia was in the northern part, like you can see it was in the this area is Fertile Crescent. I don't know how this appears to be a crescent, but the geologists named this area the Fertile Crescent, so we will stick with that thing. So Mesopotamia was in civilization in the northern part, like this is the Fertile Crescent in the north part. So I'm just drawing it for reference or like proof, but we all know the north is pointing this side. Sorry for this hideous arrow. So Mesopotamia was a civilization in northern part of the Fertile Crescent, and and it was between Tigris and Euphrates river. Over here, yeah, this is the Tigris and this is the Euphrates river, and the area between this is the Mesopotamian civilization. And there were many dynasties of which we will cover later in the video. But the dynasties had some area in Mesopotamia, like the Sumerian dynasty, or the Sumerian area was in the southern part. In the northeastern part, western part of the Sumer was Babylon. This area was Babylonia, and this area was Sumer, and this area was Akkad, whatever. And these highlands these islands were of Assyria. Now these are the not correct boundaries, and does it look like boundaries? This looks like a emojis. Let me make this thing. So these are the areas, and these are not the actual boundaries, and I just saw the map, and it was just labeled over there when I saw the map, and so these are the my estimated boundaries. So these were the areas, and so just continue with it. Yeah, so it used to cover the areas of Iraq, Iran, Turkey, Syria, and Kuwait. So, so this civilization, like let us assume like Baghdad is in the banks of Euphrates. So let us assume that Euphrates flow from here and Tigris flow from here. So no, this is wrong. Yeah, let us assume that the Euphrates flow from here. So the whole country of Iraq, some parts of Syria, some parts of Turkey, Kuwait and Iran were in the Mesopotamian civilization. And why is every time say and a lot of use of connectives. Let's move on to other section, which is the governance section. So the monarchy system, as we know that in the old times there were many monarchies, and like monarchy was the only type of governing system. And Indus Valley civilization had a type of monarchy system. As the Indians watching this video will know that in India the Brahmins or the priests were considered more higher than the Kshatriyas or the kings and the warriors, and the kings had to take the advice of the priest before doing anything. So as whole, the priests were the head of the country. So in ancient India, so same applied to the Indus Valley civilization, which was the, we can say, the grandfather or somebody in relation of Indian civilization. So so same applied to Mesopotamia, where a priest king was there, and it was also a type of monarchy, but it was not hereditary. Like a priest king, priest king was there. The most powerful or the most biggest priest was the king. This is the period of early Mesopotamia, which was the king, but it was not hereditary. And the priest king had the power, but it was not hereditary. Like if the priest king died, then the biggest or the second in command would become the ruler. Second in command, the priest will become the ruler. But this wasn't the case of Egyptian civilization and the Chinese civilization, where in both civilizations a king ruled. So in the monarchy system, as I told you, in early Mesopotamia, the priest was considered the king. The priest kings held administrative and religious governing authority, and I can't make a simple line in this thing. And in the later periods, however, a king ruled separately from a priest. Like in the later periods, the king and the priest were separated. Like priest was doing his own religious work, but the administrative power was held by the king. And kings were not viewed as gods, but they were considered to be appointed by the gods. And now comes some kings of this empire. First comes the Utuhengal, who ruled from 2119 to 2112 BCE. Then came Shulgi from 2094 to 2047 BCE. Then Amarsin from 2046 to 2038 BCE. Shushin from 2037 to 2029 BCE, and Ibisin from 2028 to 2004 BCE. And just remember these dates, like these are in BC, and this is not the current era or the CE, Christ era. And like, how can it be Christ era? We are in 2024 and whatever. Yeah, dynasties of Mesopotamia. So that there were many dynasties in Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamian civilization included Sumerian, Assyrian, Akkadian, and Babylonian civilization. And I told you previously that the places of these dynasties. Now comes the diplomacy. The diplomacy of Mesopotamia was based on their understanding of balance of power. They respected international law and protocol. Their diplomacy was highly affected by the invention of writing. So the diplomacy of Mesopotamia was based on their understanding of balance of power and their respective international laws and protocols. And here is a line in this para saying that their diplomacy was highly effective after the invention of writing. So yeah, writing wasn't invented till this time, and Sumerian discovered writing or developed writing, and it affected their diplomacy. After all, like today's diplomacy is different. Like we send letters, formal letters to different countries or different people, and we do things which includes letter, words, alphabets, etc. But before this, there was not before this period there was no writing, and as we all know, in the caveman era, people do drawings on the caves to express their feelings and speak what they want to say. So after the Sumerians developed writing, their diplomacy was highly affected because of it. Because it was not affected in the negative way, but it was affected in the positive way. As now they could send the written letters through the messengers to different kingdoms. But before that, like the messengers had to memorize the message and then recite that message in the court of the different kingdom, and this acted as a barrier as like Mesopotamian language would be different from the language which is used in the other civilization. Like other civilization, like we can say, if a Mesopotamian king wants to send a letter to the Egyptian king, and a Mesopotamian messenger recites the message and tells that through the Egyptian code, but like they don't know what is Mesopotamian language and accent, so they wouldn't be able to interpret or understand the language. So they would just hear, and there would be no effect. And there would be a translator, and so for that there would be a translator for them. And this was not a big process for this. So after the invention of writing, they just had to know their cuneiform script of Mesopotamians, which we will done later in the video, and they just would like decode their message. Now comes the economy section. Economy of Mesopotamia. The economy of ancient Mesopotamia was primarily based on agriculture and animal husbandry. The Mesopotamians grew crops like barley, wheat, onions, turnips, lemons, grapes, apples, dates, and they also kept cattle, sheep, goats. So, the economy of Mesopotamia was mainly based on agriculture, because in the ancient times, many people were doing agriculture, and as all the civilizations were situated in the river banks, like if we see the Egyptian civilization, it was situated in the river banks of Nile. Then comes the Mesopotamia, which was in river banks of Tigris and Euphrates. Then Indus, in the Indus Valley civilization, in the banks of Indus River, and the Chinese civilization in the banks of river Yangtze. I don't know if I missed the pronunciation. So Yuan-He. So this benefited them for agriculture. So main economy of those times was based on agriculture. And occupations, like first occupation was agriculture. Agriculture was the main occupation, as I told you before. And the Tigris and Euphrates were the main source of irrigation, because they were on the river banks. And they didn't have the modern irrigation methods like sprinkler, and that is no common sense. Domestication of animals, like a person is doing agriculture, so they had to domesticate animals like ox, cows, goats, sheep, buffaloes, etc. for their work in the field, and they also did things like selling milk and etc. in the market. Then comes art and craft. Like after the increase, like many people in Mesopotamia are doing agriculture, and because of that, agriculture of the grains and the abundant stocks. What I'm saying? I'm messing up my English. So the agriculture produce just boosted at that time, so it gave some people rest from, like an example. As the food supplies boosted, the population most of the population was toiling in the fields, but some people who were doing agriculture in past just stopped toiling in the fields, and that allowed them to increase their creative skills and do artwork, like it is written there. If you couldn't understand what I said, because it was very hard for you to understand what I said. The increase in agricultural produce and abundant stocks of food freed the population from toiling in fields, allowed them to use their creative skills. Now next comes the currency. Currency was the shekel or shekel in ancient Mesopotamian, and is an ancient Mesopotamian one. You can see in the below images. It's a silver coin with some images, like here is the king and here is someone doing what I'm saying. Like in this image, here is some boats. In this, someone is doing some hunting, and in this coin, a king is depicted. Does he have 6 packs ab on his back? I don't know. Great. Mesopotamia was a part of a large trade network that included Greece, Egypt, Levant, Persia, India, and Romans also. From those regions, Mesopotamia included gold, lumber, ivory, pearls, lapis, lazuli, copper, and silver. So, there was a large trade network. Let me get my pen. There was a large trade network in which India, Persia, Levant, Mesopotamia, Greeks, Romans were included, and let me get my yeah, so Mesopotamia imported like different materials from these civilization countries or empires, and the main thing the things which I know that from where it imported are the gold and ivory. Mesopotamia imported gold and ivory from Egypt, as if you have seen the coffin of the mummies or the chariots of the Egyptians, they were like gold plated or made in gold, and ivory was also embedded in it. And some of you guys were why my English is missing? Yeah, some of you guys will be wondering what is lapis lazuli. So it is a small blue gem which I don't know for what it is used, but the gamers over here who had been playing Minecraft would know. And for me, the only thing I know is the use of lapis lazuli is the use of it in Minecraft. So yeah, let's move on. Now comes the section of town planning. The town planning. The Sumerian city of Ur tells us the planning of the Mesopotamian cities. The cities were not well planned as the cities of Indus Valley, but they were well planned. The towns were divided into three sections: the sacred area, the walled city, and the outer town. So after the discovery of Sumerian city of Ur, the archaeologists got to know that these cities were well planned, but not as well planned as compared to the Indus Valley civilization. As I haven't posted a video about it, but let me tell you a thing. Like Indus Valley cities were well planned, and they had the best drainage system of that time, and yeah, they were well planned. But these cities were also well planned, and these were divided into three areas: the sacred area, the walled city, and the outer town. The sacred area had the temple tower or the ziggurat, dedicated to the patron god of the city. The main god of the city was the patron god. There were smaller temples dedicated to other gods in this area. This area had the storehouse and the offices. Like there were temples and there were offices of the people in the sacred area, and also the storehouses of grains and oats and etc. There, and in the walled city and in the outer town, houses were built along the street. And these houses were like, this is a house. What I'm doing? These houses were like this. This was the street. They were made along the street. There was a central courtyard, and along the central courtyard there were rooms. And architecture, ziggurats. First, as I have spoken this word in the previous slide, ziggurat is a pyramidal shaped temple tower that is an architectural religious structure characteristics of the major cities of Mesopotamia. The ziggurat was built with a core of a mud brick and the exterior covered with a blade. So in this image you can see the ziggurat. Yeah, this is a type of a pyramid, and this was a temple tower. And next comes the wonders of seven wonders of the ancient world. One of the seven wonders of the ancient world, the Hanging Garden of Babylon. The Hanging Garden of Babylon, thought to be a series of landscape terraces generally ascribed to Queen Samuravan by King Nebuchadnezzar II. So there is a story behind the Hanging Garden of Babylon, and yeah, this Hanging Garden of Babylon was like after the decline of Mesopotamia, and after that it was never to be found. Like now, if now we cannot find the Hanging Garden of Babylon. So yeah, the story behind the Hanging Garden of Babylon is that accounts indicate the Hanging Gardens of Babylon was built by King Nebuchadnezzar II, like it is written in the slide, and who ruled the city of Babylon for 43 years. Accounts also say that the gardens were built to cheer up Nebuchadnezzar's wife Queen Samuravan. She came from a place where the land was green, rugged, and mountainous, and she found the flat, sun-baked terrain of Mesopotamia depressing. Like it is a middle, like Samuravan came from an area where the land was green and rugged and mountainous. But the place where Babylon is situated was like Mesopotamia is situated is in the Middle East, and this area like is a sandy area or arid area. So like she found this area depressing. The king Nebuchadnezzar decided to recreate her homeland by building an artificial mountain with a rooftop garden. So this is known as the Hanging Garden of Babylon. Now, art and literature. Language. The main languages of ancient Mesopotamia were Sumerian, Babylonian, Assyrian, together sometimes with Akkadian and Amorite. So these were the languages of Babylon: Sumerian, Babylon, Assyrian, Akkadian, and Amorite. So Sumerian was a language which was used in Sumer, Babylon was used in Babylon, Assyrian was used in Assyria. And these three languages, Sumerian, Babylon, and Assyrian, was sometimes together known as Akkadian, and Amorite was another language. The cuneiform script. Cuneiform is a logosyllabic script that was used to write in the ancient Near East. The script was an active use from early Bronze Age until the beginning of the Common Era. So a logosyllabic script is the script in which there are logos, different types of logos, like you can see over here. This is a logo, this is a type of logo, and it denotes or tells a syllabus. So this is known as logosyllabic script, and this is the type of script that we till the day we cannot decode this script completely, the cuneiform script. And comes next from the society, the social structure. Mesopotamia society was divided into three classes. The upper class consisted of priests, royal family, high officials. Second was middle class, consisted of farmers, artisans, and traders. And third was the lower class, consisted of slaves. So this is the social pyramid. First comes the royal class, second royal family, priests and officials. Second comes the farmers, traders, artisans, professionals, and last comes the slaves. Now comes the family life. The father was the head of the family and had special privileges. The rights of women and children were protected. Children brought up very strictly. Boys were sent to schools, and on the other hand, girls were trained in music and dance. In the upper right corner, you can see an image of a Mesopotamian family. Now comes the question time. What is the main occupation of Mesopotamian civilization? Please answer the question in the comment box below. Thank you. Please subscribe, like and share.